Welcome to another episode of Healing Through Love. Each week, we share ideas, experiences, and resources to increase the awareness of domestic and family violence and to empower survivors to grow and thrive. We talk with experts who share their advice, or with people who have experienced abuse, no matter where they are on their journey. This is all about healing through love. And now, here are your hosts, Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
The Healing Through Love podcast with host Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson would love to acknowledge Global Glamping Charities Incorporated for generously supporting this podcast. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all of its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org. The Healing Through Love podcast with Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson. Sheli Bowman shares her insights on a powerful approach combining practical strategies and mindset work to create and launch courses in episode 51.
At the brainstorming phase, and I was like, sweetie, it's way too big. And so we broke it down into like a foundation of the feminine, and then the embodiment of the feminine, and then the emotion of the feminine, and then the sisterhood of the feminine. And it's like, let's create 4 courses. So it's like sometimes we have to break things down, and it's hard to do that with your own head. You know, so part of what I can help is like, I can see the bigger picture, and then like maybe it's taking someone from Hong Kong or Adelaide to the top of Mount Everest in one leap. You know, we need to break it down into the baby steps, and maybe that's 2 or 3 courses, a foundation course, and a middle course and an advanced, but the process I use breaks it down into small steps. So we get people from having this big, huge elephant in the room kind of course to having a small steps, because then the brain can handle it. Cognitively, we can take small steps.
The Healing Through Love podcast with Sharlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to the Healing Through Love podcast. My name is Sharlene Lynch from sharlenelynch.com. Healing Through Love is here to help victims and survivors of domestic and family violence find their way back to living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We interview experts and survivors who share their personal stories and offer advice to those who've experienced abuse, no matter where they are on their journey. As well as Healing Through Love podcast, we hold annual Pamper Days here in Adelaide, South Australia, for survivors of domestic and family violence. Local businesses come together to pay it forward and provide their services to help create a beautiful day. Think day spa on steroids. It's beautiful to behold. And we're so proud to say that we've now launched globally. And if this sounds like something you want to know more about, we do have an upcoming masterclass on that, so keep your eyes open for that. We're looking for organisations with similar values who would be interested in paying it forward and making a difference. So reach out to hello@healingthroughlove, so htlaustralia.org. All of this information is in the show notes. Every week we have amazing guests, and today is no exception. Today with us we have Sheli Bowman. Hello, Sheli. It's so great to have you here. I'm excited to say that Sheli Bowman's journey has allowed her to bridge the gap between the spiritual and the strategic, so left brain and right brain. As a Reiki master and advanced soul realignment practitioner, and reading the acoustic records, I don't know, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, and facilitating for many other modalities, and she's a certified life coach, and so many more qualities. She is amazing. It's such a privilege and a pleasure to be speaking with you from the other side of the world. Hi, Sheli.
Hello, Shirley. Yes, from Hong Kong. So
Hong Kong. I love it. So sort of straight up.
Yeah, just across the little equator. So
yes, I love it. And it's warm there. It's summer for you guys. And it's winter for us, but surprisingly, it's 24 degrees, which is actually warm for a winter day here in Adelaide. Wow, what a beautiful collection of things that you bring to the table to help these people. And I really would love to know, how did you get here? Because this is very unique.
Yeah, well, I've done the whole corporate thing. So for a long time, I was in the corporate space. I originated as an art director, creative director, and then got into being a brand manager for multinationals. But when I moved to Hong Kong 27 years ago, I became a Reiki master and started down that path. But I'd also started my first web development company. And I also started creating courses around the same time because I was teaching diving. And so there was a lot of diverse things going on. And there was a lot of amazing people that I was meeting as well that were in the consciousness space. And yeah, it was an interesting time because it was before the handover in Hong Kong. So there was a lot. And I live on this, and I have the whole time lived on this little island called Lama, and it was like known as Hippie Island. So there was a lot of interesting people around doing very interesting things. And yeah, there's a surprising amount of consciousness and people in the more woo-woo esoteric area in Hong Kong. And there's a big community of people here that are forming ways to help people. And so it's been part of my journey to have both of those paths, the business, the strategic, the MBA, and also the esoteric and working with people and helping people to align. And it's called the Akashic Records. But it's yeah, it's a way of seeing who people are at soul level and helping them to align. And I think a lot of what I do stems from having mentors in my past that changed my trajectory. So when I was 6, I got busted for reading 3rd grade maths in the 1st grade. And I'm sitting there and I'm putting this little book behind my reading book, and it was discovered that I was dyslexic. So we moved to a town, and this beautiful woman, elderly, she came in, she worked with me for a whole year. And by the end of age 7, like for my entire age 7, I worked with her for an hour a day in a reading clinic, and she was a volunteer. And then I could read. And then at some point when I was 12 years old, I started working in a design studio. And I come from the Napa Valley, so it's a lot of wineries, the wine country in California. And my dad was like, you don't want to be a fine artist, go be a commercial artist so you don't starve to death. And these people took me in as like this little 12, 13-year-old kid working in their design studio and mentored me. So throughout my life, I've been very much involved with how can I pass that forward. I went from being a kid who couldn't read, who was aimed at being a fine artist, to having a really solid career and being able to read. And, so many things happened from those few people that mentored me, with love, nurtured me. And so I've tried to nurture people in whatever way I could, whether it's in the job environment, in the healing space. So that's kind of the trajectory and how it started. And even with what I currently do, it comes from a place of wanting to make a positive impact on people.
That is so beautiful. I've been to Hong Kong before the handover and after, and there was a dramatic shift, a dramatic change in well, you can see it, but it was also just in the way that it felt as well. So a big shift. But I've never been to Hippie Island. I'd love to know where that is. And next time I'm there, I'll have to go visit Hippie Island. I consider myself a little bit of a hippie, born in the 60s. So yeah, it comes naturally. So how did you take all of these beautiful aspects of yourself, the dyslexic thinking, which now, if you looked on LinkedIn, is now an asset. You can actually tick the box to say that you're a dyslexic thinker. It's now an asset. I love that, being a dyslexic girl myself. How'd you take that and then everything that you brought in from the art perspective and then everything from the marketing into what it is that you do now?
Well, I had started working, like when I came out of corporate, I ran a nutrition company in Hong Kong. And the idea, because affordable nutrition is almost non-existent, like the health food stores and places with like vegan protein, and they were all super expensive. And basically the distributors order from, or the stores here, they order from distributors. And so I was working with a store called The Store, and modus operandi was to go direct to suppliers in the States and then populate the store directly from them. And so we were matching iHerb, if you know iHerb prices. And so it was to bring affordable nutrition to Hong Kong. That was going like very interesting. The partner, you want to talk about like the whole toxic, working with someone toxic and getting out of that kind of relationship. That was it for me. That was like one of the most toxic relationships I've been in terms of working with a very not well narcissist. And so I got out of that. I left behind, I had to walk away from quite a large investment in that. And then once I started my own business, I wanted to, because I had the whole digital marketing thing. And then I looked at how can I bring the business strategy and the Akashic Records, reading people who they are at soul level, into a program. So I started a coaching program where I was working with conscious entrepreneurs, people who are open to the idea of the Akashic Records and, basing their business strategy on who they were at soul level. So I started a coaching program based on that. And that went so well that these people were saying, I want to create a course. And because I have the knowledge, I've been creating courses. That was kind of the thing that led me into what I do now. I took a year out, almost a year out, as a CEO of a Wellness Web3 company, where I was asked to come into that role. And I did that, and it was Web3 is, it's associated with crypto. So we were incubated. That funds kind of went away once the crypto crash happened. And I had been researching, because I was working with my staff. We had 30 people in Bali. I was working with my staff and coaching them and getting them through mindset things, imposter syndrome, inner child work, the inner critic, and getting out of your comfort zone. I was doing weekly sessions with them. It's like, I really, really miss coaching, but if I can impact people the most, and I had thought that project was the way I could impact billions of people, by having a platform for healers to come together on. But then I thought, okay, what's the next best way? And it's the healers, how do they share their wisdom? The wise elders, how do they share their wisdom? And a lot of them don't have the knowledge. And my previous clients, they didn't have the knowledge as well to get onto tech, to set up the marketing funnels, all the stuff that you have to do. If you create a course, it's amazing because you are an expert. You have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the experience. You can help people. Maybe you've gone through trauma. You can help others get through that kind of trauma as well. But there's also the part of, if you create a course and nobody hears about it, nobody buys it, it's an expensive hobby. It's not a business. So you have to bake into the course creation the marketing. And so I set about researching ways that I could help people. And it's not me writing all the copy, for doing all the funnels, doing everything for them, but I found a very simple software that I can use to help people. It's very simple to, most grandmothers could use it, just input the course information and it pops out all the marketing material. And yes, it's going into AI and a lot of things, but you don't need to have an incredible amount of knowledge about the tech. And as we were talking about before, the wise elders that used to sit around the fire and impart their wisdom, they don't have that opportunity so much now. The younger people are looking at the beautiful influencers on Instagram. They're taking their advice from people not much older than them. Whereas it's the wise elders. They've had this entire life of wisdom, of incredible, unique experiences. They have the stuff to pass on. So, it's a part of the impetus or the push behind doing the course creation is like, who can I help that wouldn't otherwise be able to do that?
It is beautiful. There, you're bringing everything that you have from your left brain into the right brain space that you've now fully occupied with going into the Akashic Records and also the Reiki, and now reaching out to other people that have got beautiful things to share and helping them move forward. I love it all. Have you noticed, just a sideline, how many older, more mature people are in movies and series now? We were just talking about this yesterday. We've got Arnold Schwarzenegger and we've got Stallone and, people that are in their 70s acting as a 65-year-old and turning up on, mainstream television and also series and big screens. So it's like there's a move towards bringing in the people. Once upon a time, if you were over 50, we didn't see you on the screen. Now there's a big push for people over 50 and even to 80 to turn up and either, I just think it's amazing. So we are leaning into that and reaching out for that ancient knowledge and that connection. And it is beautiful. If we don't get this from them, it could die because it won't, it's not passed down at the fire, as you say, like it has been before. And the online course industry, I don't know, you probably know more about this than I do, being your area of expertise, but my last count was $374 billion, I think, something like that, the industry's worth, which, do you want your piece of the pie? Do you want to have an online course created for you? And if you build it, they will come is not true. You need to have that marketing piece for the front end of funnel to get people in the proximity to have a look at what you're doing. So yes. It's an old adage about the number of online courses that are sitting, on the shelf, metaphysically sitting on the shelf, collecting dust because they're there, but nobody even knows that they're there. So, wow, you're like bringing it all to the table and everything that they need to get there. And I love that. And you're coming from such a heart-centric place. So now you offer a program. Can you tell us a little bit more about this quantum program and how that works?
Yeah, well, I call it the Quantum Touch program or the Quantum Creation program because my previous coaching, which kind of lit people on fire with who they were at soul level, was called quantum light or quantum whatever, because I am using the Akashic Records is in the quantum field. So it kind of sped up the development of these entrepreneurs that were in like the consciousness space that I was working with. So this speeds up the process of both the course creation, the marketing. I've got people and I keep telling them, you're way closer than you think. And then suddenly they're going, oh my God, I'm beta launching. And it's like, and I'm working with amazing people that are they're coming out with courses that are so incredible. The Divine Feminine. I mean, she came and she was like, I've got this course idea. And she got stuck at the brainstorming phase. And I was like, sweetie, it's way too big. And so we broke it down into like a foundation of the feminine, and then the embodiment of the feminine, and then the emotion of the feminine, and then the sisterhood of the feminine. And it's like, let's create 4 courses. So it's like, sometimes we have to break things down, and it's hard to do that with your own head. So part of what I can help is like, I can see the bigger picture, and then like, maybe it's taking someone from Hong Kong or Adelaide to the top of Mount Everest in one leap. We need to break it down into the baby steps, and maybe that's 2 or 3 courses, a foundation course, a middle course, and an advanced, but the process I use breaks it down into small steps. So we get people from having this big, huge elephant in the room kind of course to having a small steps, because then the brain can handle it. Cognitively, we can take small steps. It's very hard for us to get out of the comfort zone of what we know unless we take small steps, get comfortable, get achievement, get some dopamine hits. Oh yeah, I did that achievement. Next step. So we break it down into small steps. So even if the topics are really big, we can break them down.
I love it. So how does it work? Do they work with you for a period of time, or do they build on it? So if they're building more than one course, can you explain that?
Yeah, so I have a membership because I want to help people that can't necessarily afford the higher ticket of working with me and it done for you or done with you. So there is done for you that's much more expensive, but then the done with you is relatively affordable. But then the membership is more for, I've got one person in the Philippines who's doing some amazing courses, and that's around like strategic management and family businesses that he can help. And so that's a monthly course, and we meet once a week. It's a group program, and they have access to the software that I use. Then the people that I work more closely with, they get two calls a week, and it's more intensely working on their programs. And then I help them with their marketing, help them set up their funnels. And so that's the Quantum Course Creation program itself, and then the Quantum Course Creation membership. So those are all available at Sheli.com, which is just my name. And there's more information about the things that I do and how to work with me, but it's more, I want to be able to serve people at different levels. So that's why about a month ago, I created the membership, because I was seeing that, there's people that I really want to work with, want to help, that couldn't afford to work with me at a higher level or a more close level. So that's why I created the membership.
I love it. I love it. And do you have an online course yourself?
I haven't been, essentially the Quantum Course Creation program is my program. So it's in Inception. It's like being in the movie, The Inception, because I'm in a course creation program, teaching course creation. But I still have my quantum, it's called ASTI, Align, Shift, Transform, Impact. So the ASTI Quantum is more the CEO, the entrepreneurs, where I work with them at who they are at soul level. Kind of put that on hold for a bit until I really get the course creation going and I can start working with people, because that's more higher level. They're paying a bit more, they're getting more of my time. My time right now is better spent getting people in and helping them to create a course at whatever level they're at.
I love it. Okay, that's fascinating. And we've got some details here that we're going to put in the show notes and also in the description with the link for more information in and around the course. I love it. So there's also other things that you do as well. So they can jump on and have a look more at your challenge. Can you tell us a little bit about, I'm just looking here to make sure I've got the link, and I do. Can you tell me a little bit more about the challenge that you run for people to have a taste test of what it is that you offer?
Yeah, so right now I am in the middle of a 5 days to launch challenge. The next one won't probably be for another few months, but I'm going to run some small master classes, which will be free, and those will be more just like a taster, like a 2-hour session where we talk about the systems and methodologies that I use. So that will include some marketing, how they can create their content, and so those will all be available. I'll send the link to you. But everything about that will be at Sheli.com. So
I love it. I love it. So that's fascinating. An opportunity to have a taste test and have a challenge, or to go to a masterclass so that you can dive in deeper on another level to see if you're ready. So what do you think the sticking points for most people are? Somewhere inside of them, they're thinking, yes, I've got a course and everyone talks about it, and it's like having, everyone's got a book inside of them. What do you think stops people stepping forward to work with you to create their course?
Probably the biggest one is they don't know about the tech. Like, oh, that marketing stuff is going to kill me. I don't know tech. I'm really bad with computers. Or the time. It's going to take such a long time. Well, it doesn't take that long if we're using a solid methodology. Basically, if there's 3 elements present, people can have a course. One is their commitment. I can't give them that. They have to come with a commitment. Then they need a proven system, and then they need support. Those 2 I provide. And then they can have a course. But a lot of people have the excuse, I don't have the time, I don't know tech, I don't know marketing. They don't know where to start. That's why I need a very specific methodology. So I get them in. This is what we go through. We go through their offer, who they serve, the basic ones, but maybe in a different way. Like, it would surprise you who you actually serve. You might think you're serving one particular avatar, but you're actually serving several with each of the steps of your program. So there's a lot of stuff it becomes quite intricate, but it's so easy when you break it down into little tiny steps. And I would be a bad course creation coach if I didn't do that in my own systems as well. So I take them through 9 tiny little steps to where they launch. And so it gets them over the little hurdles of, I don't know how what do I put together? The people that have come to me, they're all in that state of, I have a great idea, but how do I get it down? How do I organize it? Because a lot of people just don't know the steps to getting there. or they've created a course in the past and they've done one of the people that I'd worked with, she said she's got lots of courses. She'd never finished editing them, and she didn't know how to market them when she got around to editing them. And so you have to bake the marketing in as you're creating it. If you create a course and you get to the end and go, okay, can you market this for me? It's a little bit too late. You have to bake it in as you go along. And I also teach people to create high ticket so that all the other stuffs, all the lead magnets, everything comes out of the high ticket. So it's very easy to create the high ticket, and then it creates all your lesser offerings, what you can offer to people in master classes, in workshops, in challenges, lead magnets, all your marketing. It all comes from the high ticket. So it's baked into what we do. We don't start small and build up. You're wasting a lot of time. Start big, and then everything else kind of comes out of that.
Oh, I love it. And so how do you use the Akashic records in like involved in this process to get people to the next level?
That it's with people that are aligned, that want that information, and are like my more done with you clients that want that information. And then I can give that to them, like how they manifest best. What are their blocks and restrictions from this and past lifetimes? And a lot of people aren't interested in that. They really just, no, thank you. But the ones that are, and a lot of my people are very much in the spiritual space. One guy, he's doing Guaning energy. He's teaching Guaning energy. And so, it depends on how far they are into the esoteric space, and if they know the Akashic records, and if they respect the information that comes from it. So that is something that it was intricately part of my previous coaching program with the entrepreneurs, but they had to be very open-minded. And so it really depends on the person. With myself, I can see if I'm aligned or not, if I'm manifesting well or not. And I can do that with my clients as well.
It's fascinating, our journey as entrepreneurs and how we have these different iterations of self. And as we grow and evolve, and the people that we serve grow and evolve, our business grows and evolve as well. And it's great that you're in a position where you can help others who have information that will die with them if we don't get that out, to help them just give back to the next generation of people that are hungry for information and are probably a little over following influencers just quietly, and they want the real stuff, which is amazing. I love it. So if you're listening today and you can feel that this is something that you're called to do, and even if you're just mildly curious, jump into the Facebook group. So we'll pop the link here in the show notes and in the description for her Facebook group. So can you tell us a little bit more about what happens inside the Facebook group?
Yes. Well, I put information of mindset work, the imposter syndrome, the inner critic. I've got things on following your intuition. What's your intuition? So I do have trainings within the guide section of the Facebook group. I am putting because I just finished day 2 of the 5 days to launch. That's going live in the larger Women's Empowerment Network group. So there's a lot of stuff in there. It's a pretty engaged community. And I'm starting next week to offer some like surprise things in the group. So that's coming. It's in the works. But also, I want to drop this, is that I will be posting a lot in that group about bringing your organization to Hong Kong. So
excited, and that's where the conversation was going next. To ask you, so for the listeners here, we ran our initial global launch last month, and Sheli was one of our amazing humans that joined us, and she's decided to link arms with us and move forward to take Healing Through Love on a global scale. And that's in Hong Kong. We've also got Dallas and Florida and quite a few other countries, and a little boutique one here in Adelaide, in Wollonga, which we're very excited because we haven't done boutique ones before. So this will be the first time we will do something like this, which is more about the location that we'll be doing it as opposed to the services that we'll be offering. So it services 2 needs. So we're very excited about that. And that one's even going to take it to the next level, where we're going to have accommodation as well, so Airbnb on site. But we're excited to be working with you because we've not done any work in Hong Kong, and it's amazing to have people on the ground who know the area. You've been there for so many years, 27 years?
Mm-hmm.
And you know the people, you know the culture, and you understand the special nuances that this particular challenge, family and domestic violence, brings to the cultural difference there. And yeah, if you're listening to this and you've got your own modality and you're curious, there is another launch happening later on this month. The links will be all over the place. We'll let you know, but reach out to us and we'll give you more information. But we love what you bring to this planet. You empower other healers to stand in their power, to pay it forward and make a difference, not just to their clients, but to everybody. And we know that together we're raising the frequency of the planet. So we are so excited to be working with you moving forward, Sheli, our girl on the ground in Hong Kong. This is fabulous. And I'm super excited. So you've got a unique community there of people who are healers. Is that right?
Yes. Up until just before COVID hit, we were having an annual event called the Garden Gathering. So it would be probably less than 200 women and children, no men, but it was women and children, no drugs, no alcohol. It was gathering for 3 days and sharing healings. They were called wisdom shares. And through that group and through my connections in Hong Kong, in Bali, I have a pretty big network of healers that I work with because the Wellness Web3 company that I'm still the CEO of, our mission was to bring together a platform for healers to offer their services. So I've got a pretty broad connection network of people where I'm connected to healers, both in Hong Kong and elsewhere. But there's so many people in the consciousness space in Hong Kong, and a lot of people are surprised about that because they think of, the neon Hong Kong and the busy high rises, and I'm sitting on an island that's mostly jungle. And I think around 70% of Hong Kong is basically national forest or jungle areas. So it's a big place for hiking, water sports. But a lot of people are also surprised that it's a big place for the consciousness, for for healers. There's so many people doing amazing work here that it's an inspiring place to be right now, because there is such a shift in consciousness after COVID, where people are coming into a space where they know that the consensus reality is not for them. The long commute, the 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 7 job, what they were told before. And so there's a lot of people that are getting more into the online space. They are getting more into healing, more healing themselves, getting more healthy. There's a lot of things shifting, not just in Hong Kong, but because I'm here, I see it here.
Everywhere around the world. It is an awakening on every level, and we are raising the frequency of the planet. Wow, you've got so much to offer. Not only are you running this there in Hong Kong, but you're also got this opportunity for people to look at creating their online courses as well, and that beautiful free community where you can learn more about what's stopping you stepping up and creating your online course and looking at those roadblocks. I love it. Just as a final goodbye, Sheli, what words of wisdom would you like to share with our audience today?
Probably just be good to yourself, connect with other people. Part of being good to yourself, I think it's a given that meditation, I do 2 or 3 hours of meditation every morning. It just calms you down, gets you ready to take things on without taking them on, and connection. So many people didn't have the time of gathering during the pandemic, and now it's we're having so many gatherings and connection with people, and it's so important to I think the soul that to be in touch with your inner self and calming that inner self, but also connecting with beautiful other individuals like you. We get to do this online.
I love it. I feel as if we could be sitting down having a cup of tea, and it doesn't feel like there's that much space between us. And I think that's one of the other things that's come out of COVID is that, we realized that we could do muscle testing, online, the things that we thought healing. We really felt that we needed to be in proximity. We didn't have a choice. we needed to learn these skills or lean into them very quickly. And it's just a huge paradigm shift for healers globally. And I'm glad, because it's time for us to help heal the planet and move everyone forward and raise their frequency. I love it. Thank you so much for your time. All of the links for Sheli on her quantum course, and also on how you can be in her proximity in her free group, and all the details for her website are in the show notes and also in the show description. That's a goodbye from me, Sharlene Lynch, and also from Sheli Bowman. Bye for now.
Bye, Sharlene.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healing Through Love. You can get further resources, see the show notes, or simply reach out to us via our website at htlaustralia.org. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time on the Healing Through Love podcast.